All right, guys, we are back for another video. So today it's Chad's time. Now, for anyone who doesn't have the SSR Yoroichi, right, and is currently looking for a solid strike category DPS, then Chad is your way to go. And let me tell you this, Chad is actually pretty good, considering, right? He's only an SR unit. He's a completely freely available character. I mean, you will get him naturally in the beginning straight away, right? Due to the story where you need to play with him. So everyone will have him. So we're going to take a look in this video today at actually how to build him, what weapons to choose for him, skill leveling priorities, rotations, and everything there is to know about Chad. So let's actually get started. Okay, first things first, his weapon. Now, I don't think it comes as a surprise that saying his exclusive weapon is going to be the best. Now, Chad has a very unique mechanic, right? If you read this here, whenever or taking damage or actively consuming HP grants 1 stack of Fortitude, which increases his crit rate by 1% and crit damage by 1%. And this also stacks up to 10 times. So ideally, every time he takes damage or actively consumes his own HP, he will get these stacks up to a 10. So he will, most of the time, whenever he gets hit or uses own HP consumption, have a 10% crit rate up and a 10% crit damage up, which is already great. This resets, however, right? When he's getting wounded or switched out or stuff like that, right? When Chad hasn't received the full transformation power, right? This is basically when Chad his HP drops below 75%, it increases his crit rate by 20% and crit damage by 40%. 40%, bro, plus the 10%. That's a 50% crit rate. Crit damage increase. When his HP drops below 50%, increases his crit by 30% and crit damage by 60%. I'm telling you guys, Chad is crazy. His special attacks will consume 1 times 5 times the HP. So this is something to take into consideration. So this is going to be his best weapon. Now, an alternative is going to be the Power Strike. Let me see. Can I find it here? Or did I already equip it? There it is, right. So this is going to be an alternative for him, which will work fine. So that's his weapon. Now, let's actually take a look at his skills, because there is a special mechanic to his kit. Let's say. So his passives, this is going to be the first thing you want to always prioritize when actually leveling this or any character. Make sure you get that first. He has something called transformation power, which we just read. Increasing of his crit damage and crit rate, right? The passives literally just boost his attacks and everything, so we don't really want to go over them, right? Now, skill leveling priority for Chad, very easy. Level up his passives first, then basic attack, then ultimate, technique, and last but not least counter, in this order. His main bread and butter is going to be his damage done by the basic attacks. He basically attacks with his fist, striking 5 times, and he will basically gain also spiritual pressure on hit. This is one thing. His ultimate, on the other hand, Chad channels his spiritual power into Brazo Derecho del Gigante, and unleashes a massive Azure spiritual pressure shockwave, right? This will also immediately restore his own HP equal to 30% of the max HP. So this is something unique to Chad. He basically has a self-surviving, sort of self-sufficient mechanic. He's essentially able to just stay on the field for very long without running into danger of actually dying, right? This is good. And his technique, he basically does a shoulder throw and slams the enemy in the front of him into the ground, deals a specific amount of damage of his attack. He then tosses them with a tremendous force, dealing damage equal to another percentage of the attack. After that, immediately tap the basic attack button to release an impaling strike on the enemy in front, dealing again percentage of attack and accumulating a large amount of spiritual pressure. So this is going to be something you will be using here and there, right? Especially if you want to build up the spiritual pressure. But again, the main bread and butter is coming from his basic attacks and ultimate. Now, dupes. Yeah, with Chad, again, he's an SR unit, so naturally you will acquire his dupes easier than the SSR characters. That being said, I already have an A2 Sergeant. I feel like he doesn't leave me alone, but anyways. At A6, he's going to be a beast because it increases Chad's strike damage overall by 30% while passive skill transformation power is active. This, on top of the crit damage and crit rate increase, is big, right? This is very big. At A4, A5 is basically a level increase. At A4, it increases the damage dealt by the technique by 100%, which is also nice to have. At A2, which is, in my opinion, the best stopping point, especially if you're sort of hunting after his dupes, I assume. After landing a hit with a technique, Chad's subsequent strike... Oh, by the way, sorry. Strike damage increases by 30% for 12 seconds. So this is a general boost for his strike damage. The good thing is there is no cooldown to this. Once he basically uses his technique again, he can actually have an indefinite uptime of increased strike damage. I mean, take this into consideration. We're talking about a free-to-play SR character here who's actually pretty heavy hitting. His A1 is actually alright. While releasing a special attack crushing charge each time the enemy receives damage, the damage multiplier of the incoming second follow-up attack, this is interesting. This is basically when he does his move from the technique, the one after that, increases by 15% up to 75%. This paired with this, right? Plus paired with the boost he gets from the transformation power. Bro, you better be ready for Chad. Now, in terms of his accessories or stamps, the best core stamp, obviously, is going to be, again, his exclusive one. This, basically, after releasing his ultimate transformed right arm, Chad gains Gigante's Might, increasing his strike damage by a further, now hear this, a further 17% for 12 seconds. Chad's spiritual pressure is instantly filled to maximum after releasing his ultimate. Now, this right here, on top of all the other buffs he's already given himself, right? We didn't even speak about any buffs from any supports or anything, right? This is already big, right? Now, if you do not have his exclusive core stamp, the Gather Up 13 Court Guard squad is going to be the best alternative option. And as for his farmable stamps, the best one is going to be the Shadow the Shadow in Still Night Clash. And this gives the 2-piece, basically increases the strike damage by 11%, on top of all the buffs he's already got. And the 3-piece increases the ultimate damage by 30% each time a basic attack is released. It also increases the special attack damage by 5.5% for 10 seconds. This will stack up to 5 times. So this is undoubtedly the best thing you want to actually equip him with, because it just boosts his overall damage. Now, since he is a DPS, I highly recommend trying to go for crit damage and crit rate as his main stats and substats, sort of, right? Try and prioritize these. And after that, attack. That's essentially what you want to build him with. Now, I have very suboptimal stats as of now, but I will be starting to farm for him as well. But still, I already have a few 5 stars for him equipped anyways. So yeah, that's his stats. Now, let's talk about teams. This one's a bit, I would just say, difficult with Chad, because he takes the role of the main DPS. So if you do not have Yoruichi, let's assume you don't have Yoruichi and you don't have any strike SSRs, right? For example, the best team is going to be, if you purely run SR characters, Chad as the main DPS, ideally running Uryu as the battlefield skill unit. So Uryu is going to be the tactical character of the team. And as for support, you want to run 100% Nemu. Nemu is just broken as a support for any strike team. This is going to be the best, let's say, free-to-play option for Chad. Now, if you have Sajin Komamura, then obviously running Chad as the main DPS, Sajin as the tactical battlefield unit, and again Nemu as your support. This is going to be the team you want to run. Now, the thing with Nemu is she will have a lot of uptime during a match because she wants to build spiritual pressure in order to activate her lower body, upper body sort of mechanic, right? And she is then able to also increase the strike damage of the squad by a further 30%, right? Which is huge, right? So we got to take this into consideration. Whenever playing with Nemu, the rotations are going to be slightly longer. Anyways, if you have Yoroichi, then usually she replaces Chad, right? If you have Yoroichi, it's going to be usually Yoroichi, Sajin, and Nemu. But nevertheless, if you don't have Yoroichi, the best free-to-play or the best strike option would be Chad. Now, let's actually jump into a game, into a match or fight, whatever you want to call it. And let's see what Chad is capable of actually doing. Alright, I love his intro, by the way. Let's actually see how Chad will do at stage 5 of the trial tower. So first things, again, switch out to Sajin. That's going to be always your first round. And then go into Nemu. Nemu will stay on the field for a while, activating her lower body drive and upper body drive, and then utilize obviously the battlefield skill whenever it's ready. And then it's Chad's time. Now Chad is then going to start attacking. Again, every time the battlefield skill is ready, go into Sajin. If you have his ultimate ready, use it. Don't hesitate using it. You will be needing it, especially at these, let's say, tougher stages. We activated it fairly quickly there. We do have a lot of chargeability, I'd say, for the battlefield skill. Is pretty decent actually. We do have the ultimate ready of Nemu. We actually want to use it in a moment now. So here it is, because the ultimate will further buff our damage for 55 seconds in total from Nemu. This is huge. If you have an A6, it even makes it even better. Back into Chad. Obviously, don't forget to utilize the battlefield skill in between. Actually, it's gonna be interesting to see whether we're able to do this stage. Because my Chad isn't even fully built yet, right? We didn't focus on these stamps, right? We just equipped them. We didn't really do nothing. The skills aren't fully leveled, and he's already doing good. Again, survivability is given. This team is pretty much very tough to beat because obviously Sajin has damage reduction, Chad has self-healing, and then you have the damage buffs of Nemu and Chad himself. So you are actually doing pretty good. Let's see, we should be able... by the way, I can't really counter here. I'm playing on PC and this is very annoying that playing with mouse and keyboard isn't my thing. I'm hoping for a, I don't know, a PC client sometime, but yeah, this was good. This was a good run. Considering it was on auto, it was actually pretty decent. Now, as you've seen, the rotation is usually, again, starting off with Sajin, getting up your damage reduction, right? Spamming his technique initially first, then switch out to Nemu, activate her lower body drive, get her spiritual pressure up, and then switch out to Chad and let Chad first and foremost stay on the field, do damage. Make sure in between times to always spam your battlefield skill whenever the ultimate is ready from Sajin. Use it, definitely, because Sajin has a very high ultimate recharge rate. Then go back into Chad, and whenever you see that the buff from the lower body drive from Nemu runs out, switch back to Nemu and let Nemu again buff the entire team. And that's essentially the rotation. And with that, you're actually looking to clear hopefully a lot of the higher stages. I'm gonna try my luck and see how far I can go on the battle trial stage with this team until I eventually get maybe Yoroichi. But as for now, this is as good as it gets. And yeah, I hope this was helpful to anyone looking to run Chad as the main DPS. Let me know down below in the comment sections what you think about the character itself, and also let me know what kind of videos you would like to see on the channel. Obviously, I'm going to be bringing out guides on every single character. But apart from that, do let me know what you would like to see featured. As always, thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.